Hi, in this video I will review Samsung's first Ultra HD 8K TV, the Q900R. Samsung introduced Q900R at IFA 2018 in Berlin and made it available in 4 different screen sizes: 65, 75, 82 and 85 inches. The prices span from $5,000 up to $15,000 or euros, depending on the market. What is interesting is that 82-inch version costs $5,000 less than 85-inch, a whopping $1,666 per inch. Although this TV was released in 2018, Samsung is referring to it as a 2019 model. Samsung will also release it in 98-inch version as well, making it the biggest TV in QLED line so far. Considering it is the world's first 8K TV for the consumer market, I expected that Samsung would do something special in the design department. Perhaps use some special fabric as Panasonic did for their first OLED TV, or make a memorable stand, or put QLED 8K somewhere on the bezel. But nothing, really nothing special this time. The design is very simple and it looks a lot like the flagship 4K model, the Q9FN. The difference is minimal. Samsung's logo is moved to a strange position in the right corner, and stand is made of 2 feet that can be installed at 2 different positions. The feet were designed in such a way so that they can fit in the M-shaped socket on the backplate. This is convenient if you want to mount the TV on the wall, as you won't need to worry about misplacing the feet. There is only one connector at the back of the TV, and that one is for connection with the One Connect box. This box weighs more than an average Blu-ray player, and contains all the electronics, connectors and power needed to feed the screen. It can get quite hot during use, so it is best to put it somewhere in the open where airflow is good. The box has 4 HDMI 2.0B connectors, 3 USBs, Toslink, Ethernet, external link, antenna and satellite inputs, and common interface. An updated version with HDMI 2.1 ports should arrive at one point, as Samsung informed its customers in the US. Q900R features the very same Tizen OS 4.0 as other 2018 Samsung Smart TVs. Samsung didn't even bother to upgrade the resolution of the interface. It still is in Full HD that is now upscaled not 4 times but 16 times to fit the 8K screen. I'm pretty sure that other manufacturers will do the same with their 8K TVs this year, as no one seems to care about this aspect. One remote control comes supplied with this TV and it works just like before. You can also use Samsung's app or connect a USB or Bluetooth keyboard for more control. The main selling point of this TV definitely isn't the design or its Smart TV platform. It is the resolution, which is exactly 4 times bigger than that of Ultra HD 4K TVs. And although we already have today's smartphones with 4K panels, seeing 33 million pixels on the big screen is something special, even on this rather small 65-inch version. If you've seen how sharp the picture is on 32-inch Ultra HD 4K monitor, then imagine having 4 of them in front of you. With the native 8K content, Q900R looks like a huge high-resolution monitor. And that's why you need to sit really close in order to see all the details. Same as to when first Ultra HD 4K TVs arrived on the market. They only brought high-resolution screens and kept other aspects on the same level as high-end Full HD models at that time. The story repeats itself with the Ultra HD 8K. Q900R is still an LCD TV with advanced LED backlight, quantum dot technology, and support for the same HDR formats like on other Samsung TVs. That means that Dolby Vision support is not implemented, and the only dynamic HDR format supported is HDR10+. Where Samsung did bring an improvement over other QLED models is in peak luminance. Q900R can reach up to 4000 nits according to the specification. Together with full array local dimming with close to 500 dimming zones, I was very excited to check this aspect out. As usual, things are not black and white as it seems from the spec. I've measured nearly 4000 nits on a 10% window, but only in dynamic HDR mode and on 100% pattern. Despite high brightness, I would not recommend that you watch anything in this mode. The picture is way too bright as Samsung is not following the PQ curve, and there is way too much blue to get natural looking images. With Movie HDR mode, the situation is a bit different. You will get a more pleasing image and peak luminance is just over 2200 nits, which is very good for impactful HDR effects. But again, Samsung has decided not to follow PQ curve, but making the image brighter than it should. If you try to match PQ by lowering down local dimming from high to standard, the picture will become too dim, which is even worse. The local dimming itself is on the same level of precision as on Q9FN. It improves contrast a lot for both HDR and SDR content. Dimming cannot be turned off in user menus, so take into consideration that the TV will dim the entire screen if the scene is very dark, which may lead to loss of some fine shadow details. On the other hand, compared to Samsung's Q8D that I've reviewed before, local dimming is much more precise, and I haven't encountered a situation where the entire screen would increase in brightness just because subtitles had appeared at the bottom of the screen. This is a scene from The Ballad of Buster Scruggs in HDR on Netflix. You can see how the entire scene is stable and how the halo effect is not so strong. Motion resolution was surprisingly good on this TV. On the monoscope test with blur reduction set to the maximum value of 10, I could discern around 1000 out of 1080 lines on the moving pattern. Traces behind moving objects were small and hardly noticeable, and even in darker scenes blur was better controlled than on most 120Hz LCD TVs with VA panel. 8K TVs just prove that we need high frame rate content and we need it fast. Static images are of excellent sharpness and the amount of details is truly impressive. But as soon as there is some action on the scene, especially with 24p content, practically all the benefits of ultra high resolution screen disappear. I'm sure this would be even more distracting on the bigger screens. Dirty screen effect was slightly visible, as you can see on this test pattern, but it wasn't distracting while watching sports or other content with panning shots. Samsung is well aware that most of the time Q900R will not display native 8K content, but upscaled lower resolution content that is more readily available. For that reason, there is a new quantum processor 8K implemented with AI upscaling technology. This all sounds very exciting, but in reality, the result is nothing special. Increased sharpness control will bring slight edge enhancement to the picture and nothing else. Standard definition will still look soft and free of fine details, and the much better result will be on Full HD and 4K content. The only improvement I saw was in test patterns involving diagonal lines. There I saw smoother lines with less stair-stepping effect than on 4K TVs. Viewing angles are limited, so it is best to see directly in front of the screen for the best color, contrast and the smallest amount of visible halo effect caused by local dimming. Sound quality was average. 2 down-firing speakers and Samsung's AI for sound optimization did little to bring a wide soundstage with great dynamics. As I'm sure no one will buy this TV for watching the news, talk shows and soap operas, my recommendation is to invest in AV receiver and decent speakers to take care of the sound. It was a great experience playing games on the screen with solid contrast and great HDR effects. Q900R has auto low latency mode, so it will automatically switch to game mode. I measured the lowest input lag of 22 milliseconds. FreeSync is also supported. Even though it is the first 8K TV to hit the market, I see few reasons to get this TV now. The main reason is that very soon more 8K TVs will arrive and they will have HDMI 2.1 connectivity that Q900R is lacking at the moment. Tricks with 4000 nits being achievable only in dynamic mode and not impressive AI upscaling technology don't go in its favor as well. At this point, I would rather recommend Samsung Q9FN, which is much cheaper and you will get picture quality that is very similar to Q900R. To conclude, if you're planning to get an 8K TV, wait a bit more. I would like to thank Samsung Croatia for providing me this TV for testing. Thanks for watching.